guys, welcome back to Take Comfort with the Book. This week, as you recall, like I said last week, we're going to be doing chapters 18 through 22 of Brooklyn We Go Hard by Tatiana Vilbrun-Etienne. Chapter 18 introduces a new character who is Soraya, Brent's godsister. And he says that she's the only person that he feels comfortable sharing his true thoughts with. In this chapter, Brent talks about how much he misses Sumaya and that Soraya is actually very similar to her, and she's the only person that he talked to in the time period when he wasn't talking to Brooke and didn't respond to her messages because he wanted to, get his priorities in order, get his head straight. And also he was having to deal with his mother being surprised that he was in honor society. She thought of him as just some kind of boy who was always messing around with girls but not having intelligence, so that really shocked him, that his mother thought of him that way instead of as what he was, which is actually a smart guy. Sumaya came over to come visit, and she was pretty surprised to see Soraya standing there. She was like, who is this girl? Because they'd never met before, and they were feeling uncomfortable, both girls being in the room, beside Brent, of course. And eventually, Brent actually ended up ditching Soraya and only wanted to spend time with Sumaya, and she went into his room and just stayed there while they went out. She even cooked, and they came back and they ate. They didn't even think to invite her to what she cooked to come eat, so that was kind of rude. Brent's mom came home, and then she went to go call her out of the room to come give her some food to eat because, So in chapter 19, it's back to Lynn, and Lynn is at home when her mother starts coughing, and then she asked her to take her to a hospital. There, she found that she was seriously depressed and anxious, and she had a high blood pressure. This, of course, was overwhelming for Lynn as she's just seen her mother in the hospital, a woman that barely does anything, and she'd never seen her that way before. So she called her father, and he didn't really pick up, and she could guess what he was doing, probably with another woman, which is what got her mother in this position in the first place. And eventually her father showed up, but he acted like he didn't really care. He acted detached, even though he see his wife in a hospital bed, and that only made the situation worse. Lynn's mother started crying, and then she gave her a piece of her mind. She told her exactly how she'd been feeling for the past couple of years, how bad he had been, how bad he has treated her, how he got into this situation. It definitely was not an eye-opener exactly, but a kind of, unveiling to her father that her mother had been going through all this, and we actually find out that he gave her HIV. Yeah. Throughout chapter 19, really, it was Lynn's mother finally standing up to her husband and all the things that he had put her through, all the years of torment and the lack of care and compassion that he showed towards her, and how he felt so comfortable being able to cheat on her all this time. And he knew that she knew, but he still did it anyway. And she did nothing else but stay at home and cook and clean and be the wife that she had been in the beginning, but he didn't even acknowledge that and acted terribly. Her confrontation with the father shocked both Lynn and him, and definitely put the father in his place. So in chapter 20, Brooke ends up calling Brent back, and she wants to meet up and talk and stuff. But at the time, he was with Soraya. Apparently, they are now sleeping together. No surprise there, even though it's God's sister, and they were never, on that right before. But now they are, and she is definitely going to feel bad because she is showing more emotion towards Brent, but he is still in love with Brooke. And when Brooke called him, she was in the room, but he just wanted her to go away, and that's gonna hurt. But Brent says that she knew what she was getting herself into, and she knew her behavior before, so it's kind of her fault. Whatever. Anyway, Brooke fell asleep in his room, and she wrote in her journal that she chose the right one, and that made Brent really happy. And he woke up in the middle of the night to go use the bathroom when Soraya pulled him to the side and was like, what about me? Asking those kind of questions. And he kind of friend-zoned her. Yeah, friend-zoned her, even though they were talking to only each other for a couple of weeks now. So that's going to hurt her more than him, obviously, because he's already moved on back to Brooke, who he's always wanted to be with. Chapter 21 is about Soraya, It's about her being jealous of Brooke, saying that she hated her because apparently she's the reason why Brent was doing this to her, which we all know is kind of true, but like really it's Brent. But anyway, um, she's angry at her and she's just really hating on her right now. And she only wants her best friend, Summer Rain. They've been best friends for a long time now. And she tells her that she's pregnant. hmm She's pregnant. Apparently, from the one time they did it, I think. The one time they did it. And she's just is trying to find a way to get back together with Brent to keep him. And at prom, when she went, they were dancing, and eventually, Brooke and Brent ended up together. She didn't like that, but she and another friend of hers, Ladybug, had a plan, which basically to break the news to Brooke and Brent, so that they can break them up and separate them. But they also have to compete with Lynn, apparently, who has something to say to Brooke as well. She thinks that Lynn is having the same plan to get Brent back to her, but we'll find out. So in chapter 22 was about the preparation and about prom itself. And Brooke and Brent went together and everything was going good. So eventually, like the end of the night, where it seemed like everything was going to go to disaster, they went outside and that's when he saw Lynn. And he was like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen now? What's about to destroy everything that they've been trying to build over the past couple of weeks and so. But he started crying, and then Brooke was speaking, and then she was eventually crying, and she was vulnerable after all this time apart from Lynn. So he was scared of that, and then he also saw Ladybug and Soraya and Summer Rain coming from another corner, leading up to them. And then he was full on like panic mode. He didn't know what was gonna happen. He felt like everything was gonna end right at that point, and they were gonna destroy everything. But then he saw that they started to hug Lynn, and then he knew that none of it had to do with him, and that's when, the burden was like, had a relief. So that was good for him. Even though, what is he scared of? But we don't know what he's scared of, him sleeping with Soraya. Yeah. And throughout the novel, it shows parts where they're in the future, reflecting back on these moments. And Brooke was showing that she was upset about all the things that happened because she felt like Carrie at her prom. She felt like everything was destroyed, and she was being humiliated, but she's okay now. And Brent also brought us some tea, so she's feeling better. But mind you, this is all in the future. This is them reflecting back on the events that happened throughout their high school experience. And also, Summer Rain felt like she wanted to speak on this. She felt that she wanted people to understand where she was coming from in everything that happened, and we will get to that later. The next chapter is called Drama Reigns in the Summer, so it's obviously going to be about Summer Rain and her perspective and all the things that happened to her and with her and around her and their high school. So, you guys will get to read that. You'll be reading chapters 23 to 25, so be ready for that. That is actually the last chapters of the book, Brooklyn We Go Hard by Tatiana Vilbrun-Etienne. So be prepared for that, and I will see you guys next week.